Hello, everybody. Hello, Twitch.tv. Hello, 2MB Studios. Hello, humans of the internet. It's Monday night. It's 7 p.m. And that means it's time to play That Sounds Right. You all just heard our theme song. That's my favorite song in the world, aside from the music of the great Randy Newman, of course. And you saw the face of my co-host, Will, actually. Will, hello, good evening, happy Monday, welcome.
Will actually here, and that is a fact. We're starting the show off with some truth bombs.
Some truth bombs, a bunch of truth bombs. It's Monday, it's 7, we're on Twitch, we're on 2MB Studios.
Randy Newman is awesome.
Randy Newman is terrific, and you and I are co-hosts of this show.
So excited to be here with you today, as always.
Oh, I'm excited to have you. I couldn't do the show without you, Will, because you're here to tell me what is right after I decide what sounds right. Both of which on this show are equally important.
Equally important for the show, but one is a little bit more disappointing than the other.
Yeah, well, one of them is a little more important to me, Will. And that, of course, is who sounds right. Who sounds right on this show? Tina Talon in the comments says, welcome to the most stressful hour of my entire week.
We aim to make it so, Tina. We aim to make it.
I've got 3 amazing contestants here with me today. I'm going to introduce them one at a time. Here we go. First, Kelsey. Hi, Kelsey. Welcome.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being on the show tonight. So excited to hear what all the answers you have in store are. We have Marion on the show. Hello, Marion.
Happy to be here.
Happy to have you. Amazing. And we have Britt, of course. Britt,
Oh, hello, everybody.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
So excited to have you three on the show. Really just a terrific set of contestants. Tonight is going to be a tough competition.
Yeah.
Here's how this is going to go. I'm going to read the first question. These contestants are going to give their answers to the question. One of them is going to be giving a correct answer. Two of them are going to be giving answers that they are completely making up on the spot, never heard the question before. And I am going to be assigning points for the answer that I think sounds the most right. Let's do this. Question 1. What was the first message sent over the internet? This is the first message ever sent over the internet. What we're conversing on right now is a really relevant question. Kelsey, I'm going to come to you first. What was the first message?
Ahoy hoy.
Ahoy hoy. Kelsey, I love it. That sounds right. That it harkens back to the days of ships long ago, and that may be right. Marion, what's your answer?
Well, actually, so it started off, there were, I think it was 2 colleges or universities, because the internet's all about connections, right? So
Right.
One computer had to log into the other computer, and they're on the phone with each other. In order to log in, they have to type in log, and the computer's smart enough to finish in. So they type L. Hey, did you get the L? And the other, yeah, we got the L. O, did you get the O? Yeah, we got the O. And as soon as they hit the G, the whole thing crashed. So the first message was low.
Just low. L-O.
Low.
Marion, L-O, I have to say, it's not as fun of an answer as ahoy hoy, but it was a detailed answer, and our audience is often convinced by those details. So it's looking good for you. Britt, I want to hear your answer.
The answer, everybody knows that the first message sent over the internet was, it was actually 3 separate little emails. It was one said bud, the second said wise, and the third said It was 90s, so it was bud, wise, and the person at the receiving end just cracked up because they were like, that's
hilarious.
Is that how the ad campaign started? They're like, that's such a good idea. It was the first viral marketing.
Yeah, and then someone was like, oh wait, it sounds like frogs. Not everyone has the internet yet. It's just a new thing. So that's where the commercial came from, because they were like, we got to market this, but we can't use the internet, so we're gonna do toads or frogs in a bayou.
Okay,
I assume it's the bayou. I don't know. That's where frogs live, right? I saw Princess and the Frog like maybe 3 times.
Sounds right. Yeah. It sounds right, Britt. So I just want to recap these answers. Just the answers themselves. Kelsey, your answer was ahoy hoy. Marion, your answer was L-O. And Britt, your answer was Budweiser. Or
yeah,
Budweiser.
Budweiser, yeah. You got it. Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm seeing some support in the chat for Marion's answer so far. I said those details would be important. Tina Talent has commented, misinformation. If you do not pick Marion, I will stop watching. These are the kind of threats I'm used to receiving as the host of this show. And I want to reassure everyone that they rarely sway my answer. However, for this first round, I am seeing a bunch of viewers support Marion in the comments. So I am going to start off giving the first 5 points to Marion's answer for L-O. Beginning to write log.
Will actually here. That's correct.
Correct.
It was low as the first message sent over the internet in 1969.
Low and behold, I got the first one right, Will.
Nice.
I am so excited. This is a great start for the show.
High fives all around. We're doing great so far. Amazing. Marion, you deserve the points. You sounded right. Whether or not you were right is no concern to me, but it does certainly make Will actually happy.
I'm also really good at lying, so.
Well, I'm sure we're going to see that on full display tonight. Our second question is, why did Graham Parsons quit the Byrds in the 1960s? In the 1960s, Graham Parsons quit the Byrds. Why was it? Marion, I'm coming to you first.
So the reason why, it was Graham Parsons and his brother Brian, and they both started off with like equal writing credits. Even though Graham Parsons did more of the work, he was just very generous in giving his brother 50-50 credit. But it wasn't until his brother started getting more recognition, because he was the front singer, that Graham Parsons said, you know what, I'm just going to quit.
Wow. You know, it makes sense. Writing credit has torn apart many of our most famed musical groups. Britt, what's your answer?
So Graham Parsons, not a lot of people realize he was a big fan of John F. Kennedy. And November 22nd, 1963 was a day that no one will ever forget, especially Graham Parsons. So Graham Parsons started dealing with depression because of JFK's death, and he just couldn't do the Byrds anymore. So he quit.
He just couldn't bring himself to play all that.
He quit.
That happy bird music in such a sad time in history.
Yeah. JFK's dead. Can't. Sorry.
Yeah.
No.
Understandable. I'm glad Graham Parsons got the space he needed. Kelsey, what's your answer?
So, speaking of sad times in history, the Byrds were supposed to play apartheid South Africa to a segregated audience, and Graham Parsons said, I'm not going to do that. And so he quit.
Wow. So he had no pull over the gig of the band.
His pull was, I'm quitting the band, and we're not going to play.
Wow. Kelsey, did they play without him?
No, can't play without Graham Parsons.
So he really took the whole thing down. Good for Graham Parsons. Now, I don't know who's correct here. As usual, I'm looking to the audience, and they're giving me little to no help. Loaf the Wonder Bread says, love the historical specifics, Britt. Britt, you did mention a specific date in your answer.
Well, November 22nd, 1963 is a day that not many people that were living at that time will forget. My dad was 3. My dad was 3 at the time, and he remembers it. And who the fuck remembers when they're 3? I remember when I'm like 28, but like that's pretty much it.
You know what? Britt does have a history show.
Yeah, no, it really affected a lot of people. And like I legit to this day, I always ask people, like one of my first things I ask old people is, how are you doing? And where were you when JFK was shot?
Sure. So if I'm being honest, where I'm sitting right now, Marion's answer sounds the most right in terms of why a band would, or why someone would quit a band, right? For writing credit. But we have historical significance on the side of others. This is a difficult one. Right off the bat, I'm going to go with my gut. The audience isn't helping me. So I'm going to go with my gut here. And my gut says Marion's answer. I'm sorry, but writing credit, this is the most sounding right answer. I rang the bell. It's decided. This is why bands break up all the time.
Well, actually, here, it was Kelsey. Kelsey was correct. They were boycotting.
Kelsey was correct. Kelsey, I have to say all 3 answers were very convincing. All 3 of you were getting pull in the chat. Marion's answer just sounded the most right to me in terms of timeline and reason.
I don't know if Graham Parsons has a brother.
You know what?
That was brilliant. I really thought it was Marion.
And when I was picturing it, I was like Brian with a Y.
You know what? I didn't even think of that. I didn't even think about that. I was like, of course, yes, his brother. Does he have a brother? Will, do you know?
I will let you know in a moment. I'm going to go check that out. Get back to you.
What would we do without Will, actually? I'm glad I asked him that question because it distracted him from trying to convince me to give points for the correct answer. Let's move on to question 3.
I love it.
We love Will.
Yes.
Question 3 is, what does the word dandelion mean in French? I'm really interested to hear this. Potential bonus points if you can give me the correct French pronunciation of dandelion. I'm going to go to Britt first. Britt, what's your answer? What does the word dandelion mean in French?
Dandelion. Dandelion is actually what they call Danny DeVito in France, because he is very precious to them, like a dandelion. So Dandelion is actually code for Danny DeVito.
Because he's a dandelion.
Mm-hmm. And in everybody's hearts in France. He's like, and actually in Iraq, Lionel Richie is considered like, he's like a godly level. And seriously, and it's like that France for Danny DeVito.
So if I were in France and I said Dandelion, they would be like, "Oh, I loved him."
Oh, Dandelion! Oh, it's always funny, Dandelion. Like, yeah.
I really like that answer, Britt. I really like it. Kelsey, what's your answer?
Dandelion, French, for fancy cat. So it's really became popular with the popularization of the internet, cat memes. That's a good dandelion.
Ooh.
That makes sense. You know, because a dandelion kind of looks like a certain kind of cat, shape-wise, sort of, in that I'm going to move on. Marion, what's your answer?
Well, both of these are correct. It does mean Danny DeVito and cats. But originally, as you may know, if you drink dandelion tea or dandelion wine, it's a real diuretic. And so the French is pissenlit, which means wet the bed.
Oh my gosh. That's a really good answer too. Wait, these are 3 really good answers. We have Danny DeVito. We have, what is it? Ugly cat, Kelsey?
Fancy cat.
Fancy cat.
Thank you very much.
Fancy cat. Danny DeVito, fancy cat, and wet the bed. Any of these could be true. All of them sound a little bit right. I have to say the one that probably sounds the most right is probably the fancy cat answer, due to how, although Danny DeVito also is a precious little dandelion all on his own. And Marion said an additional French word. What? How do you know this?
How do I know this?
Yeah, how do you know this? How did any of you go to France, for instance?
French Canadian.
Oh my god.
It's in my blood. It's not piss in my blood, but
Nice.
That's
yeah.
so true.
I went to Quebec for a little bit, so in high school. So I mean, I think those are equal potentials. Yeah,
they bully you a lot in Quebec to speak French, so like you got to pick up fast.
Kelsey, did you go to Quebec in high school?
Not Quebec, but I went to Paris in high school, where I met a very cute French boy, and we became internet pen pals. And so he would send me cat memes, and he called them dandelions. And I thought about it that way.
Of course, your internet cute French pen pal would send cat memes. That's it. 5 points for Kelsey. Sometimes a personal story will really push me over the edge. And tonight, Kelsey, I believe you went to Paris. That sounds right to me.
Well, actually, here, she may have gone to Paris, but she's not correct on this one. It is Marion.
It was Marion. It wasn't Danny DeVito?
I wish.
It is, but originally, these are both right. They're updated.
Yeah, you know what? I do have the New English version or the New French version.
The Quebecois.
Yeah.
So just really quickly, going back to the previous question, Graham Parson, it
please.
looks like, has a sister named Diane, but no brothers.
Brian, that's why.
Brian Parsons.
That's what you were thinking of.
So about those points to Marion for getting this last one right.
You know what, Will?
I even did research.
Oh, that was so sweet of you, Will, but you really don't have a leg to stand on here because Marion's ahead. Marion doesn't need those points. You know,
it's about the truth, the fact that matter.
I care not about truth. Kelsey sounded right because Kelsey had a French cute pen pal. A cute French pen pal. That sounds right to me. Britt, you're bringing up the rear here with 0 points so far, but it's only the first round. There's still time for you. Kelsey, you're right in between with 5 points. And Marion, you're in the lead with 10 points. 10 points. Marion, you are ahead. How does it feel? And is there anything that you want to share with the audience?
It's overwhelming. I have a target on my back. And I come from Canada, and I'm really happy to be here and to just be silly.
Amazing.
Nice.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for being here. It is time for round 2. Round 2 o'clock. The first question in round 2 is, in what way did famous dancer Isadora Duncan die? Isadora Duncan is a dancer. Isadora Duncan is also dead. In what way did famous dancer Isadora Duncan die? Kelsey, I'm coming to you first on this one.
Her son Ian drowned her while she was bobbing for apples at their Halloween party.
Oh my God.
What? Was it on purpose or was it a bobbing
Oh,
accident?
it was foul play.
This is a dark question, Kelsey. That sounds like it could happen. Dunking for apples, jobbing for... What is it? Bobbing for apples.
Isadora Duncan bobbing for apples. Isadora bobbing dunking for apples.
Isadora Duncan bobbing for apples. It's a dangerous activity. Marion, what's your answer?
It was drowning, but what happened was Isadora Duncan was doing some diving, like some cliff diving, and when she went to go run to take the dive off the cliff, she rolled her ankle before she had just finished a very strenuous run of a show. I can't remember which show right now, but it had put a lot of stress on her ankle, and she rolled it, and when she landed unfortunately, like slamming on the rocks and drowning.
Oh, God. Oh, that's terrible. That's terrible. So her weak ankle kind of, she couldn't get proper lift.
Yeah, kind of like tumbled, full speed tumble off the cliff.
Oh, rough story. Britt, how did famous dancer Isadora Duncan die?
So this is pretty graphic, but she was driving in her car and she has a very giant scarf on, and it's an open car, and the scarf gets caught in the back wheel and the hubcap, and she breaks her neck. She strangles to death while she's in the car, and it said it was like really bad. So yeah, that's how Isadora Duncan died. She had the big scarves and she was driving.
Oh my God.
Headless Horseman style.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, I was really, these are all such like horrible stories. And any of them could happen to any of us. Just kidding. But those are really scary stories. You know what? I think any of these could be true. Kelsey, your answer is a terrific story, and it was probably the most whimsical of the three. I'm going to rule it out because bobbing for apples has nothing to do with Isadora Duncan being a dancer, other than maybe lung capacity. But Marion mentioned a weak ankle due to a dance performance, and Britt mentioned flowing scarves, which, as we all know, dancers wear.
Isadora Duncan was known for like her big She had like a lot of like big dances, and she like a lot of her pictures have scarves and flowy things in them. And I'm a theater person, so I've heard that name a lot.
Oh, that's true. Britt is a theater person. Britt might have known this. You know, Britt, I think that's convincing enough. And on top of that, you have a lot of support in the chat. So I'm gonna go Britt on this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points for Britt about Isadora Duncan's scarf death. Really tragic, horrible story. And you know what? This should be a lesson to all of us about being safe with your scarves.
So true. And it's correct. The very, very dark story about her unfortunate demise is correct. Britt was right. Congratulations. Feels weird to say, but congratulations.
Yeah.
Will is trying so hard to be enthusiastic about the tragic death of.
Yeah. It's not easy, but we got the point, so that's what matters.
Yeah. Well, you know, I'm glad that Will has at least that to get him through this time. We're going to go to question 2, which is there are only 3 statues of women in Chicago parks. One is fictional. Who is she? Okay. In Chicago parks, 3 statues of women. One of them is fictional. Who is it? Marion, I'm coming to you first.
Right. It's Mary Poppins. And the reason why is because when Mary Poppins was first filmed, it was a lot of the work was done in Chicago. It actually helped prop up a lot of the local economy. So yeah, they made Mary Poppins as like a cute reminder of when the town could come together and help put on the show.
That is sweet. That's a sweet story. Britt, what's your answer?
It's funny because you said like 3 statues of 3 women, and one of them is the Mrs. O'Leary of the Chicago Fire. There was rumored that Mrs. O'Leary and her cow started the Great Chicago Fire, and so the statues of Mrs. O'Leary and
Who people think is real, but she's actually fictional.
yeah.
Mrs. O'Leary is fictional.
Yeah,
It wasn't real.
Yeah.
It's a myth. It's a legend.
Oh, so it's more of like an urban legend or like a what are those called?
Wives' tale.
Old wives' tale. Yeah. Yes. Excellent. Mrs. O'Leary. Kelsey, what's your answer?
Well, actually, it is of Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz, and it's in Oz Park.
Oz Park. That would make sense. Kelsey, I have to be honest. I've never heard of Oz Park. Is that a real place?
It sure is. And if we're throwing out reasons why we're correct, Marion may be in Canada. I'm in Chicago.
Okay. That's a good reason. But did Britt or Marion maybe have a cute pen pal from Chicago? Because that would
but mine's based on an urban legend in Chicago, and also I'm in Boston, so like that means I'm automatically right.
My mom's from Chicago, and she worked on Mary Poppins.
What? For real?
Yeah.
I mean, I ate a Chicago hot dog once. It was pretty good.
These are also
I love Malort. Anyone had Malort? So good.
Malort?
No.
Like Malord?
Malort.
Malort.
It's like Fernet. It's a liqueur. It's so delicious. You guys got to come to Chicago.
Are the 3 answers I'm hearing. Kelsey says Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz. Marion says Mary Poppins from Mary Poppins. Britt said Mrs. O'Leary, the fictional character who started the Chicago Fire.
Yeah.
And listen, all of you have really great reasons for knowing this, but I'm just going answer-wise. Britt's sounds the most right to me. I like the story of Mrs. O'Leary. I'm going to give points for it. Anyone could be right. 3 terrific answers, but Mrs. O'Leary reminds me of a story I once heard, not about Chicago, but if it could happen in Ireland, it could happen anywhere. Tim, Will.
If it could happen in Ireland, it could happen anywhere. The story may be a tall tale, but there is not a statue of it, unfortunately. The real statue is of Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz. Kelsey was correct.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Kelsey lives in Chicago. Kelsey, if I'm being honest, you did have the most solid personal connection. But is Mrs. O'Leary a real story?
Yes.
Okay, there's just not a statue, which makes sense. I guess.
It was like there was a lot of like, and it's the not to get into it, but a lot of prejudice against Irish people. So
Right.
it's part of like the kind of propaganda, and it's bad.
Yeah. That all makes sense, Britt. Now that I think of it, making a statue for someone who started a fire would not be as kind of, let's move on.
Yeah.
We're going to go to question 3 in round 2, which is, what was Grover Cleveland's big scandal in 1884 and how did he respond to it? Grover Cleveland's big scandal. I'm coming to Britt first. Britt, what is your answer? What's the big scandal?
All right, it's the 1884 election. So this is Grover Cleveland's first time running for president. And the scandal comes up that he has fathered a child out of wedlock. So he knocked someone up. And the woman came out and she's like, this happened 9 years ago. The kid was 9 years old when this all came out.
Right.
And, this was a huge scandal because obviously, the Victorian era, everybody is like, if you even look at a person sexually back then, you're a sinner. So, and you're like immoral. So, everyone was like, oh my God, what's he going to do? And Grover Cleveland came out and was like, yeah, that's my child. And you know what? I'm going to support it and I'm going to come clean and show you I'm an honest guy. And that actually helped him win the presidency.
Because a lot of people around the country who had children out of wedlock were probably like, wow, he's just like us.
Yeah, exactly. They were like, oh, look at that. And he's like owning up to it. And there was actually like, he had like wrote a letter or a telegram, some sort of message to like a cabinet person being like, you just got to like, they were like, you got to tell the truth, man. You got to tell the truth. He's like, you know what? I got to tell the truth. So.
Well, good on Grover. Good on Grover. I'm seeing in the chat that his real name was actually Stephen Cleveland, but went by Grover. I'm going to say that sounds right. Kelsey, I'm going to go to you next. What's your answer?
Yeah, so he did have a child out of wedlock, but he wasn't 9 years old. This child, it was a baby, and they found it in a trash can, and everyone was up in arms. And he responded by creating those safe havens where you can drop your baby off at like a fire station or a hospital, and everyone was like, "Well, that's nice."
So Kelsey. Steve Cleveland was like, I just didn't have anywhere to put the baby.
If we had that, it would be fine.
Wow. Could be true. History, as we've heard on this show before, pretty fucked sometimes. Marion, I'm going to come to you. What's your answer?
So one of the big scandals when he was running for re-election, just around the time he was Catholic, and the Catholic Church in America was starting to like get a little bit more allowing in divorce law. So Grover Cleveland had a divorce and had been remarried, but the big scandal was that he was getting divorced for a second time, and that was unheard of. So it was quite scandalous.
It was really an everybody gets one rule back then.
Yeah. Not enough to go around. But eventually he did marry in his second term, he married for a third time and remained with his spouse for the rest of his life. So
good
third
for
time's
him.
the charm.
Good for Steve Cleveland. Everybody deserves a third chance at love. Listen, some of these answers were pretty dark. And by some of them, I mean Kelsey's. Kelsey's answer was pretty dark. A baby in a trash can, Kelsey. But I like that he responded by creating safe havens, which I personally have never heard of, but I believe that these are. Can anyone confirm, are safe havens a place to leave a baby? Yeah. Kelsey's saying yeah. Britt doesn't know. Britt, your answer was that he had a child out of wedlock, but he told the truth about it. Kelsey's answer was he had a child out of wedlock and put it in the trash can, but responded in a positive way to that.
I will also. Can I add something?
Yeah, please.
So the people against him had this catchphrase, and it was "Mama, where's my pa?" And they would like tease that to him, and then when he won the White House, and they would respond with "Off to the White House, ha ha ha." So that was like the rhyme they responded with. Mm-hmm. Mom,
wait, the opposition responded with that.
No, the opposition was saying to Grover Cleveland's party, "Mama, where's my pa?" And then Grover Cleveland's party was like, "Off to the White House, ha ha ha."
I see, because he was like, "It too bad, because I won." That makes sense, Britt. Listen. I like all three of these answers. 2 divorces, out of wedlock, but I'm hearing in the chat that safe havens exist. That's, Kelsey, I'm going to give you the points. I'm going to stop deliberating. I'm going to give Kelsey points. Mm-hmm. Britt also sounds right. So, Britt, just know that in your heart, even though I'm not giving you points for this one. But
it's fine. It's fine.
We heard that safe havens exist. Kelsey knows that because Kelsey has details about her answer.
Britt also had a ton of details about her answer.
Yeah, Britt made up a cute little rhyme too.
Britt was right. Britt was right about the answer. Unfortunately, Kelsey was not. It may have sounded right, misinformation, but
I just felt that why would Kelsey make up a story about a baby being left in a trash can? Like, why would Kelsey make something like that up?
I really started to regret it about halfway through.
Well, I gave you points for it. This is a dark show so far, so I am rolling with it. Woo! Britt does have a history show. I really should have thought about that. But you know what? We're going to move right along. There's no time to dwell in this show. We're at the end of the second round, and it's all tied up 10 to 10 to 10. Everybody has 10 points. So, no one should be feeling so shocked, audience.
Oh, I'm shook.
Hi. Everyone's doing great. Even me, the host. So, Kelsey, you know what? I'm gonna come talk to you. You were right smack dab in the middle, and now you're coming up. You're at a tie with the other 2 contestants. How are you feeling? Is there anything that you would like to share with the audience?
I'm feeling great. I'm happy to be here. Similarly to Marion, I'm in the Midwest contingent. So we are very happy to be your outposts, as most of you are based in the Boston area, and very homesick. Miss it when Britt said that she's right because she's from Boston, and I believed her. So even though that was my answer, so.
Thank you.
Well, Kelsey, it's great to have you on the show, and it's great to hear all of your Chicago facts. We're going to go to the third round now. We're going to hear 3 more questions, and we're going to give points. And you know what? I'm seeing a lot of anger from the audience. I'm sensing a lot of hostility at the answers I'm choosing as the host of this show. So here's what I'm going to do, audience. I've said this before, and it was a lie before when I said it, but this time it's the truth. I am going to allow the audience to pick the winners for round 3, the winners of the points. All right? As the host of this show, let's go democratic on this one. Put your thoughts in the chat, and this time I'll actually listen, probably. Just like I said I would last time, even though I didn't last time, but this time I will. Question 1, round 3. Margaret Hamilton, known for playing the Wicked Witch of the West in The Wizard of Oz, was hospitalized and had to take weeks off to recover while they were filming. Why? Why was Margaret Hamilton hospitalized? Why did they have to take weeks off of filming? Why? Okay, someone in the chat says everyone knows this. I, for the record, do not, as usual. Kelsey, what's your answer?
The answer that apparently everyone knows is that when they used explosives in Munchkin Land, she got second-degree burns on her face and third-degree burns on her hands.
From what? From Munchkinland?
The explosives when she's like, poof.
Oh my gosh. I thought those were just like, what are those called? Like pop
Flashbangs.
rocks. Flashbangs.
Ha!
The snapper crackers. What are they called? Okay, Kelsey, thank you for
Snapper
your
crackers now.
answer. I don't know what they're called.
Snapper cracker.
Marion, what's your answer?
Well, it was actually something that happened on the set to another actor. The actor who played the Tin Man getting covered with paint. The same with the Wicked Witch of the West. It was covering paint and the skin couldn't breathe and a little bit of poisoning, paint poisoning.
Marion, that is sounding very familiar to me. I'm not choosing these ones, so who knows who will get the points, but that sounds right, Marion. Britt, I'm going to come to you. What is your answer?
So she, Margaret Hamilton, she liked to drink a lot. And she also did pills, and because, you know, Hollywood in the 1930s was not like, it was not good. Like, I mean, a lot of people were like using and abusing, and she used and abused a little too much. And she actually, like, they were filming, she was like really like this high as a kite, and she was hospitalized and treated it, and then she, you know, she did, and she recovered. So
Okay.
yeah, that's it. That's the story.
Britt, you know what? That's not a fun answer, but it's an answer that
I
absolutely.
was like, like, how do you know?
But you know, Britt, it could be true.
Yeah,
Because old Hollywood, as we know, was abusive.
yeah.
Luckily, here on 2MB Studios, I'm looking in the chat and I'm seeing that a lot of people are supporting Kelsey's answer. I really thought it was Marion's answer because I've heard of that before. The paint poisoning, and the Wicked Witch of the West was green in the movie. They clearly painted Margaret Hamilton with something. But a lot of people are saying Kelsey, which was she exploded herself with the Pop Rocks answer. Look, I said I'd go with the audience. I'm going to hold to my word this time, and I'm going to give 5 points to Kelsey for exploding her legs with the special effects kaboomers.
Will actually here, and that is correct. It was body burns. I say that a little bit too excitedly, but the answer is correct, so I'm happy.
The answer was body burns,
go,
chat.
audience.
Are you happy?
Everyone knows that.
Are you happy that Margaret Hamilton's legs was burned?
Art reflecting life, she's melting.
Oh my gosh.
I gotta go.
Very true. Okay, look, we're going to move on to the second question in the third round, which is, what job did Queen Elizabeth have at age 18? I have no idea. Queen Elizabeth even had a job. Queen, I thought. But at age 18, Queen Elizabeth had some kind of job. Marion, what was it?
Yeah, so at age 18, it was the Second World War. And growing up, she had a very mechanical mind. So she actually ended up getting a job working on trucks for the World War. And became a mechanic. So like nowadays, when she's being driven around, if the car breaks down, she can probably get out and fix it if need be.
I hope that's true, Marion. That is a really delightful image. I like that answer. Britt, what job did Queen Elizabeth have at age 18?
So during World War II, she wasn't working on trucks. She was actually helping the many nursing clinics that specialize with like babies, especially like babies that maybe were orphaned or like abandoned or needed a home. So like she helped work as like kind of like a baby nurse, whatever, nursemaid, whatever. Yeah. So that was kind of her part of the war effort in you know, helping the children of England at that time during World War II.
She does seem very nurturing.
Yeah. extremely nurturing.
Kelsey, what's your answer?
So she supported the war effort morally, but she didn't really have a direct hand because she was too busy being a dressage coach and teaching horses how to dance.
Teaching horses how to dance. So many good answers. Either she was a baby nurse, a horse dancer, or a mechanic. And I'm not sure which one I love most. I'm going to turn to the chat. We have a few answers to the question coming into the chat. She was a drummer boy. She invented Post-its.
She was the only member of the royal family, I think, to serve in a war. I believe that. I don't know. No, I'm not so sure.
At the time, probably. No, actually.
She was 18 during World War II, and right after, obviously right after the Second War, and the 1950s came, and then she became queen.
She's like, fuck this, imperialism all the way.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to be a queen. Well, she really does care about England and her people. That's a thing.
Rachel Endelman says maybe it's Crownly fans. That's an OnlyFans joke.
Rachel.
Listen, no one's coming through for me on this, but everyone is coming in with car answers, like how she drove certain cars. Everybody's like tuning in here with cars she drove and stuff about her fixing. So I'm trying to, I like Marion's answer. Another person just said that. So I'm going with this. That's enough for me. I'm going with the audience on this one. Marion's answer, she was a mechanic. It's a delightful image. I love the idea that Queen Elizabeth was a mechanic, and a bunch of people, not just me, were saying it in the chat.
Will actually here in the chat was correct.
Are you serious?
She was an engineer, a mechanic, and she's the only woman to serve in the Royal Army, not royal in general, but the only woman.
Wow.
Hell yeah. I'm obsessed with that.
Go Queen Elizabeth. If the chat wasn't here, I'm glad it is, but if the chat wasn't here, I probably would have gone with baby nurse.
That's literally Call the Midwife, I think. Like, I recently was watching Call the Midwife, and I don't think that's the actual plot, but like they having babies and stuff during the war. I don't know.
Yeah,
that was false.
I'm really glad that the chat came through on this one, because I'm so tickled to know that Queen Elizabeth was a mechanic and that she drives fast cars, which was an additional detail we got. The next question is, what was the #1 song on the Billboard charts on June 14th, 1988? All right, we're looking for what was the #1 song on the charts June 14th, 1988. I'm so excited to hear what this answer is. Britt, let's go to you first.
That song would be Together Forever, Forever Together. That song by Rick Astley. Together Forever, da, 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 Together Forever. That one.
Great answer. Kelsey, what's your answer?
That song's like, give a little respect to me. I forget who sings it.
Okay. Awesome. Another great answer. Marion, what's your answer?
That was the year that Nirvana released their first album, and they had their first #1 hit. I can't remember because everyone remembers their third album, so...
Right. Sure. Marion, I have to say, as the only one who didn't sing their answer, you might be at a little bit of a disadvantage here, but all three of these answers are absolutely believable for June 14th, 1988 Billboard 100. Apparently to other Dave Thomas, that made them less convincing. But I'm not seeing any other answers in the chat, other than I will laugh my ass off if this question is a Rickroll. That's enough for me. It's the only support we've had. Britt, that's you. Britt, this is what happens when I go with the chat every time.
And the chat was right.
Do you know,
Chat is undefeated so far.
you know what else was #1 hit that day?
What?
The Birthing of Me.
Oh, Britt. Happy birthday on June 14th, 1988.
Thank you. That's the day I was born.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense why you would know that then. I can't believe that in the last round, I went with the chat all 3 times and they were right all 3 times, but there you have it. If the chat hosted the show, maybe it would go differently, but guess what? They don't. I do. And we're here at the end of the 3rd round with 15 to 15 to 15, 3 tied answers. Everybody has 15 points. I love when this happens because this means that the winner will be decided by the bonus lightning round. The bonus lightning round is the wacky round because it's the round that I do not give any points at all.
Great.
The chat will give all of the points in the bonus lightning round. If you want to give a point to somebody, go ahead and throw their name into the chat when you hear their answer. If you want to give a point for an answer that sounds right or that you like, type that person's name into the chat and they will get a bonus point. All right. Let's bring up those bonus lightning round questions. Here we go. Bonus lightning round. First question. What is this, Britt?
It's the inside of a math clam.
What is this, Marion?
The Bernoulli line.
What is this, Kelsey?
Obviously, the golden ratio.
What is this, Will?
Golden ratio or the Fibonacci sequence?
Fibonacci.
Really nice. Really nice work, everybody. What is this, Britt?
That is Alcatraz prison.
What is this, Marion?
That is a Greek getaway.
What is this, Kelsey?
Looks like the Great Wall of China to me.
What is this, Will?
That is a castle in Heraclon, Crete.
Oh.
The island of Crete.
Next question. What is this hairstyle called, Britt?
Hair!
That's it. Marion, what is this hairstyle called?
The flowy ribbons.
What is this hairstyle called, Kelsey?
Is Belarge.
Will, what is this called, actually?
Kelsey is correct. It's Berliage.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
Gosh.
Thank you, Kelsey. You're getting a lot of pronunciation points. Let's go to the next question. Who is this, Britt?
That's that fucking funny Sacha Baron Cohen. Sacha Baron Cohen.
Marion, what is this?
My over-enthusiastic uncle.
Who is this, Kelsey?
Zaboomafoo.
Will, who is this, actually?
It's King Julian.
Next question. Britt, who is this?
That's Jesus' accountant, Robert.
Marion, who is this?
Moses after a long day.
Kelsey, who is this?
Judas.
Will, who is this, actually?
Saint Valentine.
Nice.
Oh, nice. Next question. What is this a depiction of, Britt?
Men, being dudes, being guys. Oh,
Great. Marion.
it's Facebook.
Oh, no.
It's Facebook. It's
Matt?
Facebook.
Hello? Matt in the booth?
Oh no, we're seeing a baby.
We're seeing a baby. We're seeing nothing at all. Hello? Hello? All right, folks.
That was the first Yahtzee
listen,
game.
Marion.
Oh,
Was the-
yeah.
It was, of course, the first Yahtzee game. Kelsey, what was it?
Yeah, it was the first circumcision. There we
The
go.
very first one. Beautiful. Will, what is this actually?
That is, of course, the depiction of the death of Socrates.
Of course it is.
High five.
Of course. Let's do one more of these. Britt, what is this?
That's me peeing after a long hike.
Marion, what is this?
That's in Ukraine, the Pierogi Falls.
What is this, Kelsey?
Zaboomafoo.
Will, what is this actually?
His Angel Falls in Venezuela.
This is Angel Falls in Venezuela.
So good.
Oh boy. I'm still getting points in. Britt, as I'm tallying these, how do you feel? Is there anything that you want to share with the audience?
150%. I am a part of something on Saturdays for subscribers only, which if you have Amazon Prime, it's free. You just resubscribe for free every month. It is called Dope History, and I do talk about history. I talk about pot. We play some games, have some popcorn. It's really fun. And it's not every Saturday, but you'll see advertisements. So it's usually Saturdays at 3. Subscriber only. The end.
Thank you so much. Will, is there anything you want to leave our audience with?
Yeah, just want to say thank you, all three of you, for playing. Audience, thank you for joining in and helping us with the game today. If you get upset with misinformation, I understand. I'm there all the time. What I like to do is meditate before shows and just really tell myself that it's not really about the points and get into a zen mode. So if you want to do that before you watch the show, it might help you release some of your anger and frustration and accept that she won't get everything right and that life isn't fair.
Oh, Will, that's really sweet. Will, I'm going to be honest with you. This is the most bonus points I have ever seen come in on this show. Does anyone else have any fun facts they want to share before they leave tonight while seeing all of these bonus points?
This has been great. This has been amazing. A lot of fun.
Yeah.
I just feel guilty because I put so much pressure on myself to come up with a question that no one would know the answer to. And the first thing people said to one of my questions is, everyone knows that.
But you know what, Kelsey, I did know that fact. And I respect that you put that fact because that's a really crazy fact. Like backstage, if you ever read like stuff about backstage of Wizard of Oz,
It's my favorite.
Okay, we'll talk.
I thought I might have spoiled it because I'm like, wait, what if the green paint thing is true and I just stole the right answer?
I almost did that one instead.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah.
I think I have an answer. I am not joking at all. This is the most points I've ever seen come in.
Wow.
People have in the 30s of bonus points.
Wow.
So I am now counting over 100 bonus points here total, I think, which is just insane. But I am happy to declare confidently a winner. It was a tie when we went into the bonus round. After the bonus round, Britt is going to be going home with a diploma from 2MB University. Britt, you are graduated.
What? Oh my
Congratulations.
God. Yes. I deserve it. Thank you.
You know what? You all deserve a hearty congratulations.
You guys are great.
Britt, enjoy your degree. Put it on LinkedIn, put it on your resume, brag to your friends and everybody else. We will see you next Monday. Thank you, audience. Thank you, Will, and good night.
Good night.